morning, Spain. How lovely to have you with us once again here from our studio at Hard Rock Hotel, Marbella. Once again, we will be traveling, learning a new simplified Spanish recipe. We were talking about fashion, books, climbing, Ferraris, and so much more. To start off the program, we thought we would just give everyone a little reminder that this Sunday, the clocks are going to be springing forward.
Springing forward.
Springing
Not
forward.
falling back, springing forward.
Exactly. And it's I remember as a child being
Yeah.
said you fall back in fall, you spring forwards in spring.
Yeah.
Which does help, because otherwise it's confusing.
Definitely, yes.
really
It's a great way to remember.
So on Sunday, well, it's Saturday night, isn't it? It's like at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
it changes.
Yeah.
And your iPhones do it automatically,
I know, it's brilliant,
which is
isn't
really
it?
handy, yes.
I have to
I
say
love
that
it.
recently I've been wanting to get a normal clock, like a wind-up clock. Just, I don't know, because
How traditional.
Yes, because everything is so synchronized on that it automatically does things.
Yeah.
And I was thinking the other day, wouldn't it be nice just to have, like I used to have that little wind-up
Proper
alarm
clock.
clock,
Yeah.
like in the old days, which actually I thought was a good idea, because that way I wouldn't be charging my phone by my bed.
Do you
Yes,
know what? Yeah,
that's so good.
sometimes
Because I
read
tend
that.
to do that just so I can have the alarm.
Same, I
Yeah.
think a lot of people do. Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's not
so-
good for us to have those waves so close to our head.
Exactly,
I
and I think
know.
if I had an alarm, so maybe that's something for us all to think
And then
about.
you can push it back physically, which is rather exciting.
I wasn't thinking
Forward
that's
even,
that
sorry.
basic.
Wind it up.
Exactly. So anyway, starting off the week, remembering on Sunday we will be springing into spring. Clocks will go forward, and the good thing is in Spain we do have such long days, and it's given us the ability to welcome you here in the terrace and gardens of Hard Rock again. Nice to be outside.
Isn't
Oh,
it?
it's
Lovely.
lovely, isn't it?
As spring is about to spring, the sun is out, and in Spain, the intensity can be quite noticeable. So we thought we'd just quickly chat about protection from the sun, drinking in the sun, how to take the sun into consideration if you're on holiday, visiting, or even if you live here. It's very easy to kind of like forget about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh,
So
completely.
hats, very good. Nice
yes.
brimmed hat
Yep.
to keep you cool. That's always a good one.
Yeah.
I always try and get my face out of the sun.
Yes,
I do like a bit of sunbathing sometimes,
Yeah.
but I always like to, if I'm on a bed, I always put my head in the shade.
Yeah.
And
I'm
but
the
also I
opposite.
get really hot,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
obviously it's not good for the skin. But
Yeah.
my head gets really
Because as
hot
soon as
really
the sun
quickly.
comes out, I'm like this.
Yeah.
I just want it on my face because it just
Yeah.
feels so much nicer when you've got that little bit of colour.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
However,
Yes.
little bit of colour and burning is a big difference.
Yeah.
And I've lived here for over 40 years. Therefore, my skin's continually in the sun to
Yeah.
some degree. So I think you do build up the melanin, the tolerance,
Yeah.
the protective, the darkness is the melanin to protect your skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you aren't used to being in the sun, you could be out for 20 minutes and you can burn. I have
very
seen
quickly.
so many burnt blonde tourists
Yes.
Yeah.
with fair skin,
Or people,
I'm not a
or people
tourist.
who live
I'm not
here,
a
they're
tourist.
blonde.
naturally blonde burnt tourists. We had the naturally blonde burnt tourists, but not realising. And if you're drinking
Yeah.
alcohol when you're in the sun,
I can't.
then you really burn. I don't know why. If it's, I
Yeah.
don't know why that combination.
Because it dehydrates.
Yeah.
So then
yeah.
you really need to hydrate, especially if you're in the sunshine. So the alcohol just
Yeah,
dehydrates
really
the whole
important to
body,
drink
dries
lots
you
of
up, and
water.
then
Yeah.
and I know people. You do have to be really careful because I know people who've actually had heat stroke problems, and it's really
Yeah.
affected them, and they're not able to work afterwards, and they've had
Really?
they've had really bad problems with not hydrating enough.
Yeah.
Exactly.
that's
They
it.
say anyway, if you're having an alcoholic drink, between every drink, have a glass of water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, who's doing that if you're out partying? But that is what they say specifically for that reason.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if you keep yourself hydrated, then it's not going to be as bad. So drinking in the sun is going to have far worse effects all around. If you're using sun protection, obviously, particularly you've got children, you're blonde, you're delicate, they've got now garments that you can wear to protect you from the rays, the harmful rays.
Yeah.
But we tend to use suntan lotion.
Yeah.
And this year, for the first time, I'm going to read the ingredient.
Oh, no, totally.
Because lately, the more you hear about things they include, you would think it's not possible because how can that be legal? But it is.
It's shocking.
You do
It's
have
shocking.
to be really careful.
I mean, I'm
with
just
all those.
stupefied, to be honest with you.
I mean, I prefer to have like more the natural ones. But
Surprise, surprise.
but you do end up looking a bit ghost-like because they have like zinc particles.
Zinc
in
and
them.
those kind of,
Yeah, but you want them, the particles have to be big enough so then they're not absorbing into your skin, so then they reflect the light. So that's the way that they work, and so that's why you tend to look ghost-like. So it's better to look for ones which have got like a natural colour in it, so you don't look so so you're like shocking.
But that is the
everybody.
optimum because it's
Yeah.
not then, because I didn't think about it, but of course if you're putting something on your skin, it's being absorbed directly into the bloodstream. And there are a lot of these like something benzoate, all these phthalates and things that are in there that you're not thinking, but that's just complete artificial.
It's really worth doing the research. Just because it's a big name with celebrities attached to it, or a big brand, or a really expensive brand, it doesn't mean it's the best for your skin and for your body. You know, a lot of big names that have been around for a long time that you know, have the biggest stands in the pharmacy or whatever, you'd think, oh, they must be good, and everybody you know uses them, and there's a celebrity attached, all these kind of things. Same with makeup, cosmetics in general. It doesn't mean it's the best one to go for. Often quite the opposite.
But isn't that curious? Because you don't think that they would lie to you, misrepresent.
No.
But
just a money thing.
how can it be? But you think, how can they let it happen? How can the health department? How can this? How can that? How can the governments? And yet, when you look into it, please look into it. We're not trying to do any shock therapy
Scaremongering.
or scaremongering.
No.
Exactly. Just a little bit of look into it. See what is bad to absorb in your skin, and then see if it's in your suntan lotion.
Because everything goes from whatever you put on your skin, it goes all the way through. So it's better to look for something which has got a little bit of coconut oil in. Coconut oil has a bit of a natural factor in it, but only like 5 to 6, but you can't have it on its own because then it's like cooking yourself in oil. So then you don't want to be frying yourself. So you do have to have the proper natural, I would go for natural creams and lotions, because then they're emulsified in such a way that when you're putting it on, then it covers you properly. So I definitely go for the natural.
And even the SP factors, I used to think it was like, oh, you got factor 10, factor 5, but apparently that only refers to the minutes it lasts for before you reapply.
Really?
So factor 60 means put it on at least every hour. Factor 5 is every 5 minutes. 0 factor is like, why have you got it on in the first place? Just
absolutely.
well,
Cooking
why
oil.
bother?
as a kid, I mean, well, I'd go in like skip sports, and then we'd go and either way, Burgersol was a big brand at the time, or just sheer oil from the kitchen.
Yes.
Olive oil.
Yeah, olive oil.
Weren't we stupid when we were younger?
We are so much more sensible now.
Absolutely. Now we use coconut oil.
The natural factors.
Exactly. Big fry up. Don't do as I do. Don't do as I do. Do your research, please. When you think of car or motorbike insurance, think Linea Directa. When you most need your insurance company, Linea Directa are there for you. With tow trucks, courtesy car, mechanics, legal advice, even overnight stay in a hotel if you need it. There's a whole department dedicated to us Brits with people who speak English there to help us. If you're looking for an insurance policy that really takes all your needs into consideration whilst you're driving in Spain, then Linea Directa really is the company for you. Why don't you give them a call? 952 14 78 34 or contact them online.
Make my day. Make my day.
Adventure climbing seems to be taking off all around the world. You've got people who love extreme sports, and of course they're climbing up rocks and mountain faces, and there are others who actually just want to climb for fun without the risk. And that's why they've got these new indoor or even outdoor, but these controlled spaces for climbing parks, which my grandchildren love, my daughter loves, and so do these youngsters.
We had so much fun. It was amazing.
Isn't it a great way? Because it's curious when you see like you're climbing up a wall, but we've got the harnesses on, everything's very safe. That for me is a big thing. You're indoor, you've got people there watching you.
Exactly.
You've got all the harnesses that are really well secured, and then you've got different level of difficulties of walls to climb. But the thing I saw, particularly watching my grandkids, then watching you girls as well, is the level of focus. And I imagine that that has to be very relaxing in a strange way. Although you're doing something very adrenaline driven. Have you climbed ever, Hannah?
Yes, I climbed. I did rock climbing.
Wow.
Again with the harness, so very much like the climbing wall, but on an actual mountain rock, as it were. Yeah, and it was. I enjoyed it until I didn't. You know, I got to a certain point, and it felt like it was too far to reach.
Yeah.
So stretching your arms, too far to stretch your legs, and I started to panic a little bit. So I wasn't a massive fan. Yeah.
Too real. So to start, even if that's something you would like to do, to be able to start in a controlled environment, I think is just fabulous. And particularly seeing, because my kids used to go camping in Madrid to the mountains, and I remember my daughter's minute, and them having to like jump across ravines and different things, and my son was being so impressed with the girly sister being able to do it, and me realizing these are, you know what I mean, if you've never done this before. So it's nice to think that you can actually practice in safe spaces.
Because as you say though, Hannah, like there are so many moments that it's kind of like this definitely happened to me when we were doing it. We were laughing quite a bit because it's true, like I put my legs up too quickly and didn't move my arms. And so I was literally just like
a little ball,
just trying to like hold on for dear life. So as you say, it was like getting to that stage to be like, oh right, okay, yeah. When you move your legs, you need to think about then, right, where do I move my arms, kind of thing.
There's a lot to think about, isn't there?
The strength it takes. Like I don't know about you, but my arms, like it's no joke.
No, like you definitely like you feel yourself sweating, don't you, after like a very short space of time. So strength-wise, coordination, full body workout completely.
And it does feel safe, but I don't know about you. When they tell you to jump off, I was terrified.
Terrified.
It's so
because it feels so unnatural.
Yeah, and they were like, it's fine, like just leap across gently and push across. And it was so funny. We kept going, are you sure? Like, are we not going to fall? Because you don't feel.
It's very difficult to take that
your
leap of
body's
faith.
going,
It literally is a leap of faith.
Yeah.
I find that in the sense of when you climb to the top and you've got like the bit at the top and you touch it like I've made it. I'm just scared that's going to fall on me. The whole thing is going to collapse. The whole wall's going to topple over. I mean, it's just like,
But you two look like gladiators doing it. Remind me, because gladiators have that thing, the wall, where they're climbing up and a gladiator, and that's what you look like. It's so good.
That was brilliant, actually, wasn't it? That was really, really good. I know.
Do, if you have that possibility, do go check out one of these walls, rock walls, because it is a lot of fun. Great for keeping physically fit.
Fantastic.
Great for focus.
Yeah.
And team spirit building.
Oh,
definitely.
Definitely. The full complete package.
Exactly. The complete package. Well done, girls.
Thank you.
Our little Bridget Jones and her psychic.
Climbing walls in Spain have seen a big rise in popularity over the past few years. What used to be a niche activity for outdoor, high-risk enthusiasts has actually become a popular sport. The inclusion of climbing in the Olympics has also helped boost interest, bringing more attention to the sport and encouraging people of all ages to give it a go. Spain already has a rich climbing history, known worldwide for its outdoor climbing destinations such as Siurana in Catalunya, Rodillar in Huesca, or El Chorro in Málaga. Traditionally, climbers trained on natural rock, but indoor climbing walls started to appear as a way to practice safely and consistently. Over time, these indoor spaces developed into full climbing centres, offering a wide range of routes suitable for beginners through to advanced climbers. One of the main reasons for the popularity of climbing walls is accessibility. Unlike outdoor climbing, indoor walls can be used all year round and are not affected by weather. They also provide a controlled environment, making it easy for beginners to learn and progress at their own pace. Climbing also offers many physical and mental benefits. It's a full body workout that improves strength, flexibility and coordination. At the same time, it challenges the mind, as climbers must plan routes, solve problems and stay focused. Today, climbing gyms in Spain are more than just a place to exercise. They are social spaces where people connect, build confidence and enjoy an active lifestyle.
Last week was Madrid Fashion Week, which inspired me to have a look at some best-selling novels about fashion. The first one that came to mind was, of course, A Devil Wears Prada, published in 2003 and written by Lauren Weisberger. Even though the story is fiction, it was very much inspired by her experience as an assistant to Vogue editor-in-chief Anna Wintour. The novel is about a small-town girl fresh out of college who lands the job a million girls would die for. Hired as an assistant to Miranda Priestley, the high-profile, fabulously successful editor of Runway magazine. Andrea is sorely tested each and every day, and often late into the night with orders barked over the phone. She puts up with it all by keeping her eyes on the prize, a recommendation from Miranda that will get her a top job at any magazine of her choosing. As things escalate from the merely unacceptable to the downright outrageous, Andrea begins to realise that the job a million girls would die for may just kill her. And even if she survives, she has to decide whether or not the job is worth the price of her soul. The book was adapted into a hugely successful film in 2006 with a great cast starring Meryl Streep, Anne Hathaway, Stanley Tucci and Emily Blunt. Then we have A Vintage Affair by Isabel Wolfe, published in 2009. The heroine, Phoebe Swift, has just opened a vintage dress shop in Blackheath, London. At the same time, she's coping with the recent loss of her best friend, Emma. So Phoebe takes refuge in her work, restoring these wonderful old clothes to their former glory so they can go on to have new lives. She often wonders what past lives these clothes have lived, what stories they would tell if they could speak. Phoebe meets an elderly French woman, Therese, who wishes to sell her some elegant dresses and suits. In Therese's wardrobe, Phoebe also finds a child's sky blue winter coat from wartime France. At first, Therese wishes not to reveal the coat's history, but as the two women become friends, she opens up. Phoebe listens to the poignant story of the little blue coat, not knowing that it is to have a profound and uplifting connection with her own life. A Vintage Affair was an Amazon Best of 2009 title and was shortlisted by the American Library Association for their Reading List Awards. Then we have The Dressmaker by Kate Alcott, which came out in 2012, just in time for the centennial anniversary of the sinking of the Titanic. This is a historical novel about a spirited young woman who survives the disaster only to find herself embroiled in the media frenzy left in the wake of the tragedy. Tess, an aspiring seamstress, thinks she's had an incredibly lucky break when she's hired by famous designer Lady Lucille Duff Gordon. What a fabulous name. This is to be a personal maid on the Titanic. Once on board, Tess catches the eye of two men, a kind sailor and an enigmatic Chicago millionaire. But on the fourth night, disaster strikes. Amidst the chaos and desperate urging of two very different suitors, Tess is one of the last people allowed on a lifeboat. Tess's sailor also manages to survive unharmed. Others, including the gallant Midwestern tycoon, are not so lucky. The Dressmaker is described as an atmospheric delight, filled with all the period's glitz and glamour, all the raw feelings of a national tragedy, and all the contradictory emotions of young love. And I have to mention this one, even though we talked about it a few months ago after the author Sophie Kinsella sadly passed away. Confessions of a Shopaholic, which came out in 2000. It's about Becky, who has a fabulous flat in London's trendiest neighbourhood, a troupe of glamorous socialite friends, and a closet brimming with all the season's must-haves. The only trouble is she can't actually afford any of it. Her job, writing at Successful Savings, not only bores her to tears, it doesn't pay much at all. And lately, Becky's been chased by letters from the bank, letters with large red sums that she can't bear to read, and they're getting ever harder to ignore. She tries cutting back, but none of her efforts succeeds. Becky's only consolation is to buy herself something, just a little something. Finally, a story arises that Becky actually cares about, and her front page article catalyzes a chain of events that will transform her life and the lives of those around her forever. This book is the first of 10 in the Shopaholic series, with other titles such as Shopaholic Abroad, Shopaholic Takes Manhattan, Shopaholic Ties the Knot, and Shopaholic to the Stars. Lots of great books in the series, so plenty of amazing books out there if you're into fashion.
Well, we certainly are into fashion. I mean, whether you follow it or you don't follow it. Do you know what I mean? Because that's fashionable. I've always been for one to personally buy fashion from vintage shops.
Yeah.
Even as a kid, I would go into the charity shops to look for something because I never really thought the fashions suited me.
Well, you're like A Vintage Affair.
I definitely, I love all the sound of all the books, but I definitely am going to read A Vintage Affair. I like the sound of that very much.
Yeah.
Oh, you did some amazing picks though, Hannah. I mean, I don't know about you, Leah. I like Devil Wears Prada. I mean,
I was going to say that.
Amazing.
Such a great
Confessions
story.
of a Shopaholic.
Yeah.
Insane.
How did Anna Wintour respond to The Devil Wears
Yes,
Prada?
it's interesting. I'm not sure because I don't remember there being a lot of controversy about it.
I don't remember hearing about it,
No.
but when I saw the film, immediately it was like, oh, that's Anna Wintour.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there was no doubt about
but
it.
I didn't actually realise that the woman who wrote the book did actually work for Anna Wintour. I knew that it was sort of inspired by her, but I didn't know that she worked for her. So yeah, that would have been
Quite
a bit
of
weird.
inspiration, one would have to think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I went on, an Anna Wintour thing on Google the other day. I was looking her up because I didn't know she did Vogue and everything. It was just so exciting. And I saw an interview between Meryl Streep and Anna Wintour, and it was a meeting. I think Vogue organised it.
Wow.
And they did a little skit, and they mentioned about The Devil Wears Prada.
I love that.
And the question was something like, who would you want to play? And Meryl Streep was like, And Anna Wintour just, don't talk about it. I don't think she took it badly. I think she's known to be a little bit.
But do you know what? I think, if anything, it's you can take a turn of it because you see, obviously, that delicate side to her that, that kind of shows that vulnerability, but also that she's just someone that is just very driven and very.
If she was a man in that world, you wouldn't think about it twice, probably.
Exactly.
It's just the fact that a woman in that position, talking in the same way, acting in that same way, is just not as familiar as we were talking about, over the past week.
I suppose it's the idea of barking orders. You never need to do that as a man or a woman in charge. There are ways of being a successful, high-achieving manager without being, not a nice person, or without treating your staff, not well.
I think that's also something that has bettered in time, in the sense of I don't think it is acceptable now to do that. And we have human resources departments, and there are things in the sense that make that unacceptable. But back in the day, even 30, 20 years ago, it was acceptable to be treated like a piece of nothing at work, and the humiliation and the sexist comments and all the rest of it. So it definitely has improved.
I kind of get it's a nuance, isn't it, with the language and the tone and thing. I understand that a busy boss doesn't need to say please and thank you every time they ask for something. It doesn't, would you mind doing this, please? It doesn't need to be that kind of brought down, but there's a difference between saying, do that, I need you to do that, and can you get on with that, please? I don't know, it's subtle, isn't it? There's ways of barking orders without barking orders, if you know what I mean.
Exactly.
Do you know what? It's also weird though, because I don't know what you girls think, but even though, as you say, she was very direct, very strict, but there was also that side of that. Everyone wanted to really get her respect because obviously, she was so. I don't know, such an incredible businesswoman. Everyone was
she knew what she was doing.
Exactly.
Or still does,
so it's kind of even though there is that side, but then it's almost she does appreciate when someone does work really hard to be when it finishes and says I wouldn't hire, but if you don't hire, you're making the worst decision of your life kind of thing. So it's kind of that soft play hard kind of thing.
Like with sports as well, if you're you want to play in a good team. Or you want to be part of the police, really. They put you through certain trials and tests to check that you can take the heat, you can take the pressure, closing dates, and you've got printing dates. There's a lot of pressure involved. So if it was a sport, we would accept that would be okay.
I stopped doing gymnastics because of that. I did gymnastics when I was younger because I really enjoyed it. And then you get to a stage where they're like, right, now it's about competitions, and there was a lot of shouting, and I was like, this isn't fun anymore. I went because it was fun. I didn't want to be a champion gymnast. I didn't want to be the best in Britain or the UK. So I was like, well, this isn't fun for me. And I kind of retreated and stopped doing it. It's exactly like that.
It is interesting though, isn't it? Because as you say, it's almost maybe that's what in a way some bosses or some people kind of want though, isn't it? As you say, when it comes to, I don't know, sports, or when
to
it
be
comes
the best.
to exactly.
You've got to work at it. It takes
absolutely.
sacrifice. It takes a lot. But I know sometimes even when I'm messaging or things, particularly nowadays with the WhatsApp and the emails, I'll write the message and then I'll go back, oh, good morning. Thank you, because you just said what you wanted. It's oh, hey, hang on a second, let me just
and
add
it's
a hello.
difficult with messages because you it can come across in a way that you didn't mean it. It could come across a bit rude when you're not being rude.
I'm always saying, I hope you didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. Didn't mean anything by that. Just thinking out loud.
Exactly.
And when you could do the voice, these ones where you speak now, isn't it? And when you read it back after, and then as you say, I don't know if you're, I don't know, doing something, you're on the move, and then you read it back and you're like, oh God, that doesn't sound like me at all. But it's just because it's so easy, isn't it? So you're just I just said that.
I do the voice messages because I don't like receiving voice messages because you're out recording, you're in meetings, how can you listen to them? And when I wait to get home to listen to them, by then there's 50 messages after that and you don't go back far enough and you forget. But being able to dictate into the phone
Yeah.
makes it very easy for
Yeah.
it to come out as text. But then if you don't read it through, I mean, it could even be in the wrong language sometimes.
Yeah.
And it comes out like, you know, you dictate in English, but it's put to the Spanish language.
Yeah.
The things that you could be sending people. is like-
I have to say, I thought of you the other day because I know you don't like voice notes, and every so often I send you a voice note. I'm sorry, it's a voice note. I know you don't like voice notes, but I'm not sorry. But I had a voice note from someone the other day, and it was 5 minutes long. So I sent a reply, typed a reply, and I said, "I'm really sorry. Can you type what you mean? Because I really don't want to listen to a 5-minute message." And she replied, and went, "Oh, sorry," and then like explained it in
It's very
a couple of
lazy in
sentences.
some respects.
It's like, no, that's. I think that's a bit rude. Sending someone a 5-minute voice message, like that's a long time to sit there listening to someone's message.
Exactly.
You know?
Have that moment to just do nothing else
Yeah.
except pay attention to
Exactly.
a third person.
It
Yeah.
depends though. Like my friends and I, we're guilty of that. Like we send each other 10-minute voice
your
messages.
friends,
And we
really?
walk along the street and I'm
But
listening
if you're
to it like a
friends,
podcast.
I don't
Okay.
think
Oh,
friends
that's
and
cute.
business isn't the same.
Yeah.
No.
If you're
Of
with a
course
friend,
not.
it's
Yeah.
fine. But if you want, particularly say someone who's in the media, to
Yeah.
pay attention to you,
Yeah.
or you want something,
Yeah, you
make
can't
it
go on and on.
exactly.
No.
Make it easy.
Nice and direct.
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
I love how we've gone on a tangent, but it all
I
made
know.
perfect sense.
It all makes perfect sense. We rest our case, whatever that case may have been.
Exactly. Fashionable one.
Yes, there you are. Linea Directa has come up with a squatter policy for just €24 a year. You don't have to have your home insurance with them. This is a completely separate matter to protect you from squatters. For more information, call 952 147834 or their website, lineadirecta.com.
Make my day. Make my day.
We've talked about suntan lotions, creams going on our skin and immediate absorption. Now, the same thing applies to materials that we put on our body. And various studies have shown that, particularly with the new fashions that we're wearing from these cheap companies that deliver very quickly, we're literally wrapping ourselves in plastic, and maybe it's not fantastic at all.
Oh, very good. I like the rhyme.
How about that?
Isn't it?
Wrapped in plastic. It's not fantastic.
No,
In fact, actually, it's been linked to potential skin cancer, not being able to get pregnant, all kinds of very serious things that we obviously aren't thinking about. There is not one moment when I've ordered online my beautiful summer dresses, 50 for the price of one kind of thing. And you're not thinking about what does that actually mean. Apparently the microplastics, they can form these little bits that we're inhaling as well as being absorbed in our skin. And then the things that they're treated with is literally all these chemicals that are being absorbed in our skin. Plus these plastics, materials, nylons, polyesters, they don't let your skin breathe. Therefore, you're getting all sweaty, and that can add to infections and what have you. Now, if you apply that to our undergarments as well, really, I think we have to talk about it, at least talk about it. We're not doctors, we're not health experts, we're literally just raising that this is something like with the suntan lotion, what are we actually putting on our skin?
Yeah, no, totally. I always have natural underwear, always, because that for me is like the utmost. I try and keep as much more the natural fibers, but talking about the fibers, the plastic, the synthetic things, in between the fibers, and when you sweat, the bacteria stays in there and it doesn't get out of the fabric. I mean, you can probably try washing and all the rest of it, but it's really difficult for the bacteria to get out. And then talking about washing them, all those nanoparticles of plastic goes into your water. So just one wash load could, if you collected all those little nanoparticles all together, it could cover probably, if you put it all together, like a field. So we don't really think about those things. So then where does that water go? That goes into the sea,
And then it's recycled through the whole system.
And if you're washing your clothes with plastic clothes with your nice linen clothes or your nice natural clothes, then those
The nanicles. I like that word. The nanicles. The nanoparticles. Nanicles.
will take over and like get into all your nice cottons and stuff as well. So, and then I was like looking into, okay, so how can you avoid that? And actually they do have bags that you can put your synthetic clothes into that
I have them.
separates it. But you have, but guess what? Those bags are also synthetic.
Oh no!
So it's like,
of course they are. Yes, they are. You're right.
But also it helps in one way to stop so much of it going into your wash water and mixing with your clothes. But anyway.
But it's the same thing. You go into supermarkets and you have to buy your plastic bag now because we're saving the planet. Everything is wrapped in plastic. There is not, like, what isn't wrapped in plastic? So what kind of game is this that we're buying? You know, hook, line and sinker, what is going on?
But also the liquids, the detergents that we're using also have plastic. I don't know if you've noticed the smell of certain like conditioners. I mean, there was the other day I went to my friend's house and I couldn't breathe. She had all the washing out and it was just and
so strong.
chemically,
Isn't
chemically
it?
strong. And I remember she actually washed something of mine as well, and I was like, I can't wear it. And even that is like absorbing into your body. So it's nicer to have like natural things. I mean, I did like buy some more natural detergent, and I find that the clothes are actually softer, and there's no conditioner or anything in it, but it just feels
Doesn't
better.
need it.
No. I mean, I know that you can do. I mean, there's people who make their own like washing powders with vinegar and with bicarbonate of soda. Bicarbonate of soda tends to whiten all the clothes, but there are other.
That was like when I found that out. That was really nice to know. Bit of bicarbonate of soda. Okay, that works.
So there's brands that are much better for the environment, aren't there? Both for washing clothes and also doing washing up. E-cover is a big one, which is so much better. I saw a video the other day that said with certain, I won't start naming loads of brands, but certain big brands that we would use for washing up, or like some of the most famous and ones that have been going for a long time, they have stuff in it that harms the fish. So when it goes into the sink and then eventually goes into the ocean, it's bad for the fish, and it actually says it on the label.
Really? See, we don't read. We don't read. We assume if it's on for sale, someone said it's safe.
Exactly.
No, and maybe once upon a time that may have been the case, but that isn't the case.
Especially big brands. We're like, well, these have been around for years. This is the most famous one. Of course, it's fine.
No, you see some of the studies that have come out lately about basic baby products that we've always thought for years, and it's like, anyway. Again, conclusion, read the labels. It's talking to ourselves first, we're not preaching it. We're like, please, we all need to read the labels, do our research. We now make it very easy, to search and look at things. And of course, we'll have an article about this on the website. Check it out.
Make my day. Make my day.
Hello and good morning, Spain. Today we're going to be making hígado con bacon, chicken liver and bacon. This is a classic. Now, a lot of people don't like livers, but they're so good for you, and this is a good way for you to try and get them into your diet. Super cheap, super easy, so let's get going. Got a pan on, it's cold, and I've just turned the heat up to medium to high. Got some pieces of lovely pancetta bacon here. That's, as the heat of the pan comes up, it's going to help render the fat, and that's what we're looking for, these nice little crispy bits of bacon. Meantime, we're going to get prepared with our shallots and a couple of slices of garlic too. So shallots, top and tail, cut down the middle, and you should find that easy peel, that first layer. Just take that away. The other. Keeping an eye on this bacon. We just want to move it around and encourage all that fat to render, all that lovely flavour to come out of it. That's where we're going to get the joy here from this beautiful bacon fat. Same with the shallots again, top and tail, cutting down, seeing that first layer peeling away. Same with garlic here, pushing down, hear that crack. That's the skin coming away. Take that tail off. Now looking for some nice slices, take your time with this. Thinner the better, but let's make them all the same size, that's the most important part. Keeping an eye on this bacon. Bring that heat down a bit. Lovely, starting, a couple of pieces starting to go nice and golden brown. Same with our shallots then, just some nice, really thin slices so we don't have to cook them out for too long. Take your time with this, worth taking your time while your bacon's just crackling away. Moving everything around, keeping this bacon going. You'll see that oil starting to go in the pan there, that's what we're looking for. Smells fantastic in here already. Beautiful stuff. Right, let's get our shallots and our bacon in here. That's going to start cooking away in that lovely fat. If you feel that it's a bit too dry in there, you could have added a little bit of olive oil beforehand. I'm just going to keep things moving here now. A little bit of salt, because that bacon is quite salty, so just a little bit of seasoning here. Bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. And we've got our beautiful chicken livers here that I've just soaked in a bit of milk for a bit. It's taken the impurities out of the liver, and then I've just given them a little clean and a pat down so they're super nice and dry. Cooking out these shallots, garlic and bacon. Want to see a bit of colour coming onto those shallots and cooking out that bacon, garlic. Be a bit careful, we don't want it to burn. Beautiful stuff here. These onions are starting to get the shallots nice and cooked. Beautiful colour starting to come along. Okay. Now let's just get these going. Pushing all them to one side, right at the top of the pan. They're going to be nice and safe then, nothing's going to happen to them. Going to get a little bit more oil into that pan. Nice little strip. It's going to take a couple of seconds to get hot. We're going to hear that sizzle as soon as we put down our livers. A little bit of seasoning now. Salt and pepper. Some nice golden brown colour on either side. Keep your bacon and everything moving at the back there. Middle of the pan where it's nice and hot. Now this is all personal preference again now with the livers. You can see the line as it's cooking, so it's going to cook all the way to the top, and then all we've got to do is give it a little flip and it's ready to go. If you like your livers a bit more well cooked, just give them a little bit more time in the pan. A little flip now. Beautiful. introducing that bacon. Mixing them all round together. Bit of extra punch now, a little bit of sweet paprika. Just give that a shake around. Second to open itself up. Now a little bit of liquid. I'm using a little bit of beer. You could use white wine, red wine, a bit of sherry, brandy would be really nice in this too. Again, I just want this to reduce down back to nothing. Just making almost like a onion bacon marmalade that I'm just going to put on the top of each one of these shallots. Each one of these livers on top. Already gone. Little finishing touches here. And now this is all about how you like your livers done. I like them just to be a little bit blushing in the middle. So we are ready to plate up. So I've got some bits of bread ready to go. Just going to pick up my livers and just dot them along. I'm just going to grab these lovely bits of bacon and onion and just sprinkle those across the top. Now, even if you don't love livers, this is a great one because everything in there is made it to taste that little bit better. Squeeze a lemon juice on each one. It's just going to cut through those livers. A little sprinkle of parsley on top. A little bit of salt. These are going to be little bites of joy. A little bit of sprinkle of rocket. That pepperies is just going to help it. These are my livers with bacon and shallots. Let's give these a try. This is going to be amazing. I know this. It smells fantastic in here. This is just going to be a little bite of heaven. If you don't like livers, you've got to give this a go, even more so. So good. That little bit of lemon at the end just really helps it, cuts through it, and of course that lovely marmalade we've made there with the shallots and the bacon. That is just such a good combination. Give that a go at home, guys. Thank you very much, and good morning.
Well, today I thought I'd talk a little bit about Membrillo. I thought I'd show you. It was like when I first came over to Spain and I saw this solid jam-like looking thing. I was like, well, what is it? I mean, and I would stay away from it because I didn't know what it tasted like or anything like that.
Yeah, the colour's not overly appealing, although it could be caramellish.
It's not the most attractive.
No, but I mean, now looking, it's like, well, it could be like a caramel or something like that. But yeah, it's not overly appealing.
No. But it is very nice. It is delicious. It's very sweet. The way that they make it is super, super sweet. Membrillo is actually made from quince. Now, I don't know if you know the quince fruit. It looks like an apple, but it's like a really
big like
kind of
fat
furry,
apple with and little lumps and bumps on it.
Yeah, it's furry, gnarled looking apple.
They grow a lot here. In Madrid, and homes in Madrid, we had loads of membrillos.
And it's so hard. You can't eat it raw. You have to cook it. So the cooking process ends up looking like that. Now it's kind of pale color, and you cook it for about 30 odd minutes, maybe 40. You take the skin off, and you take the seeds out, and you cook it that way, and then you blend it, and then you have to cook it with sugar. That's the only part that I don't like about it, is that you have to cook it with sugar. And when
you can't do it with honey or a substitute.
You can do that, but it won't be as solid. But and you may have to cook it for longer so then the pectins in it will solidify. But this, I mean, it's like such a tradition. I mean, originally it was the Romans used to have it, so it comes from the ancestors. And then in Spain, there's a place called Puente Genil, which they are one of the biggest producers of the Membrillo because they have so many of these quince trees in the area. And I've been like checking out some of the festivals. I mean, everything seems to be with Membrillo. So that's
I mean, I
fun.
first saw Membrillo because they would serve you cheese and they would give you Membrillo with the cheese. That would be like the jam that we would put when we have the fried brie or whatever. They use Membrillo in that respect. So that was the first time I saw it with this lump of Membrillo with cheese.
Well, the thing is, because it's so sweet and because you've got to like have the sugar processed to make it more on the solid side, so then they put it with cheese, so then it kind of balances out so you don't have like the sugar kick or the sugar rush because it's, and you can only have small amounts of it because it is really super sweet. But the quince and the Membrillo is actually very good for us. So it's a little bit like a sponge in our stomach. So it helps, it's like a fiber and it swells up with like the water, and so it's really good for getting a good movement. If someone's got an inflammation or an irritated stomach or digestion, then it's really good for those kind of things as well.
But would like this form or taking a normal quince and cooking it and preparing it differently or the same way?
It would be better in that way. But
just have the fresh quince, cook it like you would stew an apple or something and have that.
Yes.
And then what would that texture be like? It wouldn't be like jelly, would it?
No, the longer you cook it, it does get to more solidified form. And if you do have a bit of honey or a bit of maple syrup, then it will solidify, but not as solid as that. But I mean, they even used quince for like in cough syrups and things like that. So because it's also like it leaves a nice layer. So it's
comforting.
Yes, a comforting
The comfort of the quince.
Yes.
Spanish style. Linea Directa appreciates just how important our pets are to us, and that's why they brought out one of the most comprehensive insurance policies on the market from just €39.90 a year. Give them a call on 952 147834 or from the website Linea.Directa.com. Traditional foods, traditions and cultural heritage together make Spain so very, very special.
Here, dreams are born in the courtyards, in the squares, in the small hands that imagine the future. And right here they grow. You don't need to leave to become. You just need to believe, plant, and stay. Here, old age is not a farewell, it's a reward. It's to sit and watch how the light changes on the facade and recognize in every corner the story of your own. Prado del Rey, where dreams don't leave, they stay. Where what you imagine, you can live.
We like you to know things that are coming up well in advance, because if you would like to participate, you might have to buy a ticket and get a hotel. If you're living locally, they'll be great, but as I say, some things are worth traveling to. For example, if you're into motorsports, Formula One, we have 2 Grand Prix in Spain. Coming up in June is the Barcelona-Catalunya Grand Prix, and then in September, we have the one in Madrid. Now, Spain and the Spanish are big fans of motor racing. The Formula One, possibly because of our lovely Fernando Alonso being such a champion, and also Carlos Sainz Jr., both who've raced actually for the Scuderia Ferrari. So we thought, in honor of talking about the upcoming Grand Prix Formula One, we check out some Ferraris.
Ferraris have long held a special place in Spain's luxury car scene, symbolising speed, status and Italian craftsmanship. While Spain is more traditionally known for practical vehicles and strong domestic brands, the presence of Ferrari has steadily grown, particularly in major cities and along the Mediterranean coast, where luxury lifestyles are more prominent. The story of Ferrari begins in Italy with Enzo Ferrari, who founded the company in 1947. Since then, the brand has become one of the most iconic names in the automotive world. In Spain, Ferraris became more visible in the late 20th century, as economic growth and expanding luxury markets made high-end vehicles more accessible to a select group of buyers. Ferraris are also known for their high cost and exceptional engineering. Prices typically start at over 200,000 euros and can rise well beyond 500,000 euros, especially with customization options. This reflects not only the exclusivity of the brand, but also the precision behind each vehicle.
Ferrari is still the racing driving dream because, well, there was two obvious reasons, which is, first thing is the social status, having this kind of luxury and sports cars, and the second thing is the engineering behind the Ferrari brand. There was also a customer behavior, which is the customer insight behind the brand. For that reason, Ferrari is one of the most luxurious and also historical brands in the automotive panorama.
Ferrari cars are built with powerful V8 and V12 engines, lightweight materials such as carbon fibre, and advanced aerodynamics inspired by Formula One. Each detail is carefully designed to maximise speed, control, and overall performance, making each model a piece of high-performance engineering. The Ferrari experience goes beyond simply driving the car. It begins from the moment of purchase. Buying a Ferrari is often a highly personalised process where customers can choose colours, materials and specifications to suit their exact preferences. In many cases, buyers work closely with official dealerships to customise their vehicle, making each car unique. In Spain, Ferrari sales remain relatively limited due to their exclusivity, with only a small number of units sold each year. They are most commonly found in wealthier regions such as Madrid, Barcelona, and the Costa del Sol, where demand for luxury cars is higher and ownership is often linked to lifestyle and status. Ferrari's identity is also deeply connected to motorsport, particularly Formula One. The Scuderia Ferrari team is one of the oldest and most successful in the sport's history, and this racing heritage plays a key role in shaping the brand's image. In Spain, where Formula One has a strong following, this connection strengthens Ferrari's appeal even further. Spanish drivers have also played an important role in this legacy, most notably Fernando Alonso, who raced for Ferrari and brought significant attention to the team in Spain, as well as Carlos Sainz Jr., who has continued that connection in more recent years. Their presence has helped strengthen Ferrari's popularity amongst Spanish fans. Overall, Ferrari represents more than just a car manufacturer. It stands for innovation, performance, and a lasting legacy in both the automotive and motorsport worlds.
We hope you found the programme informative and fun. Do go along to our website, goodmorningspain.com. Lots of articles, some following up from the topics discussed in the programme. Links to our social media, our YouTube channel, and we love having you with us. Have a great week. See you soon. Bye for now. Bye.